What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. We have a loaded show to get into today as the Bulls signed a college stud who actually went to the University of Illinois and played his college ball with the Fighting Illini. And then Matas Buzelis had his press conference for the Chicago Bulls after being drafted with pick 11. So I wanted to go over some quotes he had and just give you guys my reaction to what he was saying during that press conference. But before we dive into it, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for the support we've gotten over the channel throughout the NBA draft and honestly since following that Alex Caruso trade, as we are closing in on 8,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. But if you guys haven't already, hit that sub button. We just need 238 of you guys to join the Bulls Report family and help us reach that milestone of 8,000 subscribers. So if you guys could do so, hit that subscribe button to just be a more informed Bulls fan. But it is Marcus Domask, who is signed to an Exhibit 10 deal, played his collegiate hoops with the Fighting Illini at the University of Illinois under Brad Underwood. And I feel like the Bulls, every single year, they bring in a player who played for the Fighting Illini. And the latest example is Marcus, who had a really good year for the Fighting Illini this past season, averaging just under 16 points a night, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And he did it, his efficiency was pretty solid as well. Not the biggest three-point shooter, as his jump shot, does take a while for him to, load up and let it rip. But still, 45.3% from the field, just under 30% from downtown. So he's going to need to improve, that part of the game if he wants to be effective at the next level. But I'm a big fan of this signing. And, by any means, he is not an elite athlete. Comes in at 6'6", has a 6'6" wingspan. He's not beating the allegations that white man can't jump, as his vertical at the combine was 29 inches, but he's got super good size on him at 215 pounds. We really saw that in his college game. A physical player, especially when he's driving to the bucket, can really get to that little bump, pull-up jumper, which was his, go-to move with the Fighting Illini this past season. But I dove into about probably 3 or 4 games, watched a lot of his highlights from this past season, and obviously, just from going off of, watching a lot of the Illini games this past season, I got 5 takeaways on the player. So, number one takeaway I had, and I think this is a huge compliment to him and his coaching and his development, he plays off two very, very well. And what do I mean by that? When he is driving to the lane, a lot of these guys can get, out of control, can jump before they pass, can go off one foot, and it can just lead to turnovers. For Marcus, it's not the situation. He plays off two, gets to the lane, gets that pivot foot, gets that jump shot, and it's either he can turn around, find a big man for the drop-off, or get to that turnaround jumper. And that's my second takeaway. He is fantastic at the turnaround jumper in the lane. And, I'm not comparing him to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when I say this, but it is in very similar fashion the way he does get to his jump shots, where he gets to the lane, he just needs one bump, and he just needs that inch of separation. Then he can rise up and knock down a jumper. But, a big reason why I do think he struggled shooting the three-point ball this past season for the Fighting Illini, his jumper is just slow. It is a definite, set jump shot where he needs to load up and he really needs to take his time. He's not the type of shooter where he can come off pin downs or even just in a catch and shoot opportunity with a defender closing out on him. It takes him a little bit to get that jump shot off. So I'm curious to see if he's going to, keep the same jumper he's been using his whole life, or maybe he makes just certain tweaks to that jump shot to, speed up, that process, because that is definitely going to be my biggest concern on him, translating his game from the college game to obviously the NBA floor. But number 4 for me, he just uses his body very well. And this is, speaks into him playing off two, that turnaround jump shot, but also on drives. Like, he gets to the lane, it's just one bump, and then he can finish over the top of a big fella. And, I think in basketball, I think we undervalue, basketball strength in comparison to like weight room strength, where basketball strength, a lot of it has to do with angles and just getting that bump, just to create that little bit of separation to give you that avenue to hit your jump shot. Well, Marcus does it very well. Simple bumps, gets to that jumper. And, I don't want to compare, obviously, comparing him to like guys like Jalen Brunson, SGA, but, working out of the post as a 6'6" guard, he lived down there this past season for the Fighting Illini, got to that turnaround jumper out of the post. He has that drop step ability, can finish with both hands really, really well around the rim. And, he was a big reason why the Fighting Illini made the Elite Eight. Obviously, hate to bring it up for all my Illini fans, but his season was ended because of that 30-0 run that the UConn Huskies went on. But, he was good. He had 17 points in that game. He wasn't the reason, for that. But I want to welcome him to Chicago. Type his initials down in the comment section. Give me an MD down below as, I'm not expecting him to make the roster, but, he'll be a fun player to watch during the Summer League. And we actually have the dates coming up here in just a second. But let's dive into it. The Matas Buzelis press conference. I'm going to give you guys my reaction as, he's a very well-spoken kid, very self-aware, and, all the Bulls beat reporters were just asking him questions about, like, how will your game translate? What do you need to work on? And who are some of the guys in the NBA that you idolized growing up? Well, this is what Buzelis had to say on what he brings to the Bulls right away off the table. He says, I feel I can bring a lot of things to the table. Whatever the coach tells me to do, I'm going to do the best of my abilities. I'm ready to work too. I'm ready to work. So I'm ready to give them all I got. And I just love this mindset. You could tell he was like foaming at the mouth during this press conference that he just wants to get out there on the basketball court, play under Billy Donovan, and just develop his game. So I love that mindset that he's ready. He's here in Chicago playing for his hometown team. And I said this on a show a couple days ago. Like, could you imagine? You're growing up. All your friends are Bulls fans. All your family are Bulls fans. And now you get to have immediate impact on their favorite basketball team. Like, what other motivation do you need to have, in working out in the summer? But, a reporter asked Buzelis on what he needs to improve heading into the year. He says, I need to work on getting stronger. That's going to come eventually. But he said, what else? Shooting. Working on shooting a little more. And I'll tell you what, he's showing great self-awareness here because what were my big, to his concerns on Buzelis heading into his NBA career? It's shooting and his frame. There is no doubt. A couple of clips went viral of him getting locked up this past season of the G League Ignite, and it just, there were smaller guards getting up underneath of him. He wasn't really use his, physicality to create separation. So if he's able to add on strength, it would just help his game. Then also one note on the jump shot. I understand he shot under 30% for the G League Ignite this past season, but he was also a 44% three-point shooter his senior year in high school when he did win Gatorade Player of the Year. He's got the same jump shot every single time. He just gets that release. I think it's just a reps things with him in terms of developing that jumper. But another reporter asked him on what part of his game do you think is going to translate right away to the NBA. He said blocking shots, pushing the ball in transition, getting right into our offense and being a good teammate. And I think Buzelis is going to be a plus defender day one. Immediately when he steps in that building, I think he will be an above-average defender in the NBA because of his athletic ability. I mean, 6'9", long wingspan, super athletic. When you have the measurables to be a good defender, it just comes down to the want. It comes down to the hustle and heart on that side of the floor, and clearly Buzelis has that, he has that, grit and grind in his game. So I think he's going to be a plus defender day one, and I'll tell you what, I cannot wait for Bulls Summer League to watch Buzelis, to watch Marcus play their hoops, and Will Gottlieb tweeted out the summer schedule. Give him a follow, works for CHGO Sports. He is fantastic covering the Bulls, but this is the schedule as it stands right now. They're going to open it up versus the Bucks at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Then they're going to take on the Warriors, a little late night game on a Sunday at 9 p.m. Then Tuesday, they got the Pistons at 5:30, and then the Hawks at 5 p.m. that Friday to wrap up the Summer League in Vegas. And overall, I can't wait. Like, the Bulls are going to have a ton of fun players that I'm excited to watch there in this league. Like, I'm curious to see if a guy like Dalen Terry will go back to the Summer League. But, mainly two guys, Julian Phillips, freak athlete, excited to watch him. Then obviously Buzelis, and then you got these UDFAs like Sonogo from last year, like Marcus Domask. Like, I'm excited to watch him play. So it's going to be a fun Summer League team, and it's times are turning in Chicago, and I couldn't be more excited. But you guys let me know, who are you most excited to watch in Summer League this upcoming session that's going to get underway here shortly? You guys give me a player name down in the comments section. As always, guys, just thank you so much for watching today's program. If you guys could hit that subscribe button, lock us in as your go-to Bulls YouTube channel. Exciting times here for the Bulls. I'm still waiting on that push notification that Nikola Vucevic or Zach LaVine, is getting traded, or maybe we do a little sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. We'll obviously have to wait and see there, but make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, lock us in as your go-to Bulls YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.